Hey, Mike Caldwell here, and welcome to Grid Ark. I just wanted to give you a really brief history of me and what this whole Grid Ark journey is all about. It all started in 2002. I was working as an air ambulance paramedic. I was flying around the skies, I was landing, saving lives, doing all that really cool stuff. But at the same time, I had a side business where I was doing corporate team building training. And I was doing that at my cottage. I had a small log cabin on 51 acres of land. It was really beautiful and it was great for the team building. But the problem was it was a cottage lake and it really wasn't meant for a corporate business. So I knew I was going to start to irritate the neighbors pretty soon, and I wanted to respect their privacy and their peace. And so I decided I needed to look for a larger property that was more isolated, where I could just do my own thing and not get in anybody's way. So what I ended up finding was a 30-foot wide by 100-foot long, 2-story abandoned sawmill on 164 acres of wooded Gatineau Hills terrain, and so this was perfect, right? And the guy that had started building the place, his idea was that he was going to mill logs downstairs, and then he was going to actually live upstairs. So the building had 3 walls and a roof, but very little else. It didn't have any. Well, it only had 3 walls instead of 4. It didn't have any insulation, of course. Didn't have any electricity. Didn't have any running water. Didn't have any heat. But you know what? For where my budget was and what the potential this place had, it was perfect. So I sold my house, I sold my cottage, and I bought this place. And I moved in December. And the problem with moving into a great big huge shed in December in Canada is it's going to get really cold really soon. But that's what I had to do, and that's what I did. And so it was a bit of an adventure there. But the other adventures came from trying to finance the place. I had really good credit, I had a good job at the time, and I thought it would be no problem financing the place. But what I learned, that there's a lot of rules about financing, and banks don't like to finance places that are, one, off the grid. They don't like to finance places that's a shed that you're trying to turn into a house. They don't like to finance agricultural land. There was a whole bunch of issues there. So financing was a big problem. And then the second problem was getting electricity here. It's going to cost $45,000 to bring electricity into this place, and I just didn't have that sort of money to put out, especially when I needed to get some wiring into this place, get the insulation, get the vapor barrier up, getting, the inside finishing up, just everything is the plumbing, everything that's involved with building a house. I needed as much money as I could to finish a house, and because it was 5,000 square feet of living space, and there's a 1,000 square foot garage, but 5,000 square foot of living space, that was going to be a big undertaking, and especially since I couldn't get any financing. So that's when I decided to go off-grid. So I actually decided to go off-grid after buying the property, and so it was trial by fire for me. I had to just hit the ground running and figure it all out, and I certainly made a lot of mistakes along the way, and that's why I started that. I created that off-grid, the realities and practices of off-grid living course that I taught at the Algonquin College for a few years, and I taught here at the Ark, and now it's available as an online course. That's why I created that course, so that people can actually do the research, know everything they need to do before they start going out and buying the wrong thing, buying the wrong size, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's the realities and practices course. But once I was off-grid, making my own power, from there, you just get more excited about being more energy efficient and being more self-sufficient. And that's when I started finding different ways of cooking food without having to use the propane that we pay to bring in. We can cook with the sun now, we can cook with wood now, and it's just really rewarding when you can do stuff that makes you more self-sufficient. And then I've always been an athlete my whole life. I've raced Ironman triathlons and marathons and a bunch of different stuff. But what I found is a lot of the athletes out there, they're very fit, but they weren't necessarily healthy. And one of the reasons is the food that we buy at grocery stores today is just horrendous. Like the vegetables, the produce, it's just so full of different toxins, the pesticides and the herbicides and algicides and fungicides and all the different asides. It's just pretty nasty. And a lot of our food, even if it's organic and pesticide free, a lot of the food is still grown in nutritionally bankrupt soil. So anyway, growing my own food, that really started to interest me. Now, we have 164 acres here, but it's all wooded land, right? So we don't really have any pasture for cows or pigs or sheep or anything like that. But we do have neighbors that have farms, so we're learning different ways of of bartering and working with our neighbors, so that that we can get our food within. Like, I know you're looking at the 100-mile radius. We're closer to like a 30-mile radius where we get the majority of our food. So there's just a lot of different things you can do, and a lot of different things that's fun doing when you live off grid. We've got the maple sugar bush here, so I make a lot of maple syrup, and so that's a great bartering tool. We can get a lot of eggs for maple syrup. We can trade maple syrup for honey. There's just a whole bunch of different things you can do when you live off grid. And now that we've got the 5-day retreats where people actually come here and experience the whole off-grid lifestyle, well, now I need places for these people to sleep. So like the tiny homes, there's just so many different tiny homes out there that's something else that's really cool to explore and look at how we can build, really small homes that are super comfortable, that people can either spend a weekend or, they might want to take down the design, go home and build their own tiny home somewhere. So anyway, that's what Off-Grid Ark is all about. It started from being just about being off-grid with our electricity, and now it's branching out to food and to cooking and to just living in general, and water collection, just all the different aspects of living off-grid. So that's what Off-Grid Ark is all about. I'm going to share a lot of that stuff in the videos here. I'm going to show you my successes and my failures. I'm sure we're going to have some good laughs along the way. And yeah, there's always room for comments. I look forward to hearing from you guys. If you have any suggestions of things you'd want me to try out, I'm always looking for ideas and suggestions. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. All right, so there we go. Here's to being more energy efficient and self-sufficient. Look forward to speaking with you all. All right, until then, bye-bye.